Ring now.
Okay. Two things.
What's your thing?
A, do you know a person named Art?
Yes.
And B, why are you asking them if they kept pants?
These are e-pants in the video game called Guild Wars 2.
What?
Yeah, I've been playing Guild Wars 2.
You've been playing Guild Wars 2. Hold on, wait, start the podcast.
All right, podcast start.
Okay, we're back. Welcome, everybody, to the latest, greatest, hottest, bestest dish edition.
Whoa. Don't sell ourselves short. Definitely the best.
Definitely the best edition of the Run Button podcast.
Yeah.
I almost forgot the name of our podcast.
Did you almost say Complex Rockets, or did you just, like, not know
I think I almost said Giant Bomb, which is, like, way off.
Way off, yeah. So
It's
a
bright, sunny Thursday afternoon.
Are we doing weather for real?
Couldn't make it to my house because, shocker, his 30-year-old car has a problem.
It's not 30 years old. It's just 25
It's from like
years old.
I thought it was 1984.
No, 1989.
1989. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
well, it's only 25.
The keypad that I bought to control the thing that I'm building is from 1984.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean it was inspected, and the guy that sold it to me said outright, like, yes, it has a good transmission and a good engine, and the transmission just started leaking all of its fluid. So
Great.
I'm going to make this guy either give me back my money and take back his shit car, or use the rest of the money that I'm supposed to pay him for the car to fix the transmission. One of the two.
That's fun.
Yeah.
You know what? I was going to ask you all about Guild Wars, but now that we're talking about cars, Nicole and I are actually both looking into just leasing cars now. Because
leasing cars is actually not the worst idea in the world.
Because apparently, as we're learning now, used car values are like depreciating at an alarming rate.
Mm-hmm.
I guess because just
there's so many used cars.
There's so many used cars. New cars have a lot of great, features with their fancy touchscreens and their good gas mileage and shit like that.
My depreciated old car has a touchscreen, so
yes, I know. Thank you, Keith.
And it's rad though, right? Isn't it rad?
Yeah, like apparently, the value of the car that I bought last year, it has already lost more value than I have paid for it.
Wow.
Like I bought it for $10,000, it's already worth like $7,500.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And when you lease a car, the monthly payment is less than when you buy a car, and you get like a new car, basically, like a 2013 you would get.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah. The thing about leasing cars is if you can get a lease with an option to buy at the end, that's a
thing.
That's
yeah.
a golden goose.
And you know what?
It's not a golden goose because it's not literally making gold, but
yeah, most lease agreements, you know what happens if your transmission starts leaking fluid?
Yeah, they
fix
it for free.
They just fix it,
for
no money.
I was looking into leasing a car for a while. I was going to lease a Honda Fit for a while.
Honda Fit, that's a goofy car.
Yeah, but it gets good mileage, and it's new, and it was no money down and $219 a month.
Yeah, but it's so goofy.
It's actually not that goofy.
You're like, oh, hey guys, here's my not a minivan, but like a tiny car, but it's like a minivan, but what? I don't know. What? Honda Fit, fuck you.
Honda Fit is all right. I don't know why I'm defending it. I don't have one, and also I agree with you.
Hey, do you want to do a fun thing with me real quick before we continue the podcast?
Do a real fun thing, yeah.
Do you want to just really quickly, really funly go to time.is and then clap on a certain time to sync up our things?
This is going to be super fun. How about we do on 45? 37:45.
Okay. Good.
Nailed it.
By the way,
my clock is 1.2 seconds ahead.
My clock is 29.5 seconds ahead. Every time we go to time.is, my clock is more ahead. I don't understand.
Yeah, I guess your computer sucks at counting.
God, my computer's straight dumb right now.
Wait, hold on. Accuracy of synchronization plus or minus 0.019 seconds. This whole thing is a wash.
Oh, really? Because your accuracy is way less than mine. Mine's plus minus 0.005 seconds.
Wow, yeah, I've got way more variation in my accuracy there.
But actually, the last time we went to time.is, I made the exact same joke. I was like, this shit isn't accurate at all. We've been relying on this. I feel like a fool.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that now.
Yeah. I don't think that made its way into any final recorded product.
That's good. And this won't either.
So all this gold gets to be saved for the podcast. All right, so what the fuck?
Just cut that last 2 minutes out, put that as a Patreon podcast. Fuck it.
So, what the fuck? Are you playing Guild Wars 2 right now?
I'm playing Guild Wars 2, yeah.
Why?
I don't know, it's really fun, though.
It seemed like it was probably fun, but I'm just surprised by this.
Well, here's the thing, is that...
I didn't know you were interested in an MMO where you couldn't make false morality choices and wield a lightsaber.
No, well, here's the thing: is that I wasn't, but a bunch of stream friends people I had convinced them to play The Old Republic with me, and then they all just at once started talking about Guild Wars 2 and all decided to play that instead.
Gotcha.
So I didn't want to get left out, and so I started playing Guild Wars 2, and it's really fun.
I'm kind of annoyed with how good of a name Stream Friends is for how simple it is.
It's a really good name.
It's like it's like a name that somebody pulled out of their ass. They're just like, I don't know, Stream Friends, but it's actually like a really good name, and it bothers me that they came up with such a good name.
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing: is that
it's a name way too good for those stupid fuckers.
Yeah, come on, get real, guys. Downgrade. Since Twitch became a thing, the frequency that I misspell Steam as stream and vice versa has increased 1,000-fold.
That's funny.
I'm always calling it by the other thing.
I don't have that problem. What problem I do have is the complete and utter inability to type the word Twitch.
Yeah, I get that sometimes.
I'm going to try to type it right now.
Okay.
Oh, I got it. Never mind.
No, all you were thinking
I'm cured!
You're cured!
Whoa!
It was all in your head.
Great.
Well, here's the something. Some stuff, and I forget. And video games.
Great.
Yep.
Hey, you know what we never talked about a few weeks back when it actually happened, and I'm so sad that we totally missed this because it's like the best story that's come out of video games in like the last decade.
What's that?
Did you hear about Leland Yee on the Bombcast?
Leland Yee. That's the lawyer?
No.
No?
That was, I can't even remember his name anymore. Jack something?
Leland Yee. What?
Wait, no. Back up.
Oh, yeah, fucking Leland Yee. He's the fucking senator guy that was all about violence in video games.
Yeah,
violence in video games, and he was, like, selling drugs to toddlers or something?
No. He rallied against violent video games for years and years. Actually, one of, like, the early episodes of Complex Rockets was titled, like, Oh, Leland or something.
Yeah,
like,
I remember
Oh,
that,
Leland, you're so silly.
Mm-hmm.
And he just recently got arrested on weapons trafficking charges?
Yeah.
Weapons trafficking.
When I said selling drugs to toddlers, I was being facetious. But
apparently, like they mentioned on the Bombcast, apparently they had a recording of him saying something like, yeah, I can get you rocket launchers.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Leland was into some deep shit, man.
Yeah, that's not just any weapons. That's like the best. That's like the weapon you want in the violent video games he hates.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows where all the rocket launcher locations are on every map.
That is just... That is comically stereotypical of
someone who's railing against a thing that actually is the biggest proponent of that thing.
Yeah. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. He's already getting... Kyle, he's getting that sweet... He's getting that sweet White House script. He doesn't need...
I don't think he works in the White House. I think he's a state senator. Like a senator in the state, not of the state.
Yeah. California state senator. Okay. Well, he's getting that sweet state senator scrit.
Scrit.
He doesn't need
That's not a
to be
thing.
selling. No, scrit is a it's
Don't-
a
don't you mean
small enemy in Guild Wars that I decided sounded like a good slang.
Oh
for
my
money.
god. I think you mean Skrilla.
No, scrit.
Okay, great.
Yep, they're like little kobolds basically.
He's getting that sweet California state senator kobold.
See, kobold doesn't work as well. It doesn't.
Furbolg.
I know the K is supposed to be the funniest sound, but which explains this podcast.
Yeah. That should be the run button motto. Run button K is the funniest sound.
But they won't understand until they've listened.
So that's the thing about Leland Yee. I don't think there's anything more to talk about that. That's
Yeah,
just
what a fucker,
incredible.
right?
And he was basically like the last of
He was the last of that era, last of the people that were really scared by Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, he was like the last of the people that came out of the woodwork when hot coffee was a thing, who like finally died. There was NIMF, the National Institute on Media and the Family, and that
I remember Nymph.
Yeah, that died around the time we started Run Complex Rockets. And then who was the lawyer that got disbarred?
He's from Florida.
I can't believe I can't remember his name anymore.
Oh, okay,
Wasn't it
hold on.
Jack something?
I think it was Florida, unless he was from Jacksonville.
No.
Florida lawyer.
I mean, he could be. I
Video
don't know.
games. Jack Thompson.
Jack Thompson.
By the way, on Wikipedia, it's Jack Thompson (parentheses activist).
Yep, he's definitely an activist.
Fuck that guy.
Speaking of other Jacks, Jack Tretton a while back left Sony.
Yeah, a lot of people leaving.
A lot of
Sony.
people making moves.
Yeah,
Leaving Microsoft, leaving Sony,
leaving Naughty
people,
Dog.
It's a generation shift.
Mhm.
You know, I think it's a lot of people that needed to stick around at their company to help them through the generation change, and PS4 came out, and PS4 is doing pretty fucking good, and Jack Tretton's gonna peace out.
Yeah. Is he doing another thing, or did he decide that I've got all the money?
No, I think he's doing another thing.
Okay.
That's
He's
their-
probably going to Amazon Game Studios.
That's that executive thing, right? They're always trying to move to if they're already high up at a company, they'll move to a high position at a less successful company, try to make it more successful or whatever it is that they fucking do.
Then they're fucked.
He's like, well, I've already fucking solved video game exec who goes on stage at E3, so now I have to go fix toilet bowl cleaners.
But he doesn't get to be on stage and be really genial and kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Apparently he was at Sony since PS1 days. He was an OG.
He's been there for a long time. It's always weird.
Original game person.
Yeah.
Original gamester.
I want one of the things that I want about video game CEOs is I want to know which ones are actually playing tons of games all the time and which ones are just CEO guys.
Yeah, we talked about it back when we were doing when we started the Mario LP, but Hiroshi Yamauchi, longtime CEO of
First time caller.
longtime CEO, first time caller Hiroshi Yamauchi of Nintendo, who just recently passed away. Pretty much never played a video game. He took Nintendo into video games and made them the sole ruler of that market and just never fucking played anything.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, is it even helpful to know what video games are if you're super good at business?
Yeah. Well, apparently, he had some uncanny ability to determine if a game would be popular just by looking at footage of it, which is kind of weird.
I feel like any of us can do that.
But that's because we have the experience of playing tons and tons and tons of games.
Yeah, that's right. That's fair. At the when he was doing that, there weren't any other games really.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting edit point you just made.
Yep. Another small thing is Persona 4 is finally out as a digital download on PS3.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
if I had
John,
a PS3, I would still play that on a PS2.
Yep. $10, which is a good price because, I mean, basically before now, you either had to get a physical copy of the PS2 version, which I assume is probably pretty expensive at this point because that game is so goddamn popular, or you had to buy the Vita version, which is like $40. So now you got a nice, available, cheap alternative.
Is the downloadable version the Persona 4 Golden, or is that
No, it's just like it's just a ROM of the PS2 version.
Okay, that's a bummer, but I understand why that's a thing.
Yeah, that's
because otherwise they would just be selling it for $40.
Right, and plus it would actually take like porting work because this isn't a port; it's just the PS2 game.
Right.
But yeah, apparently John Davies is making his way through Persona 4 now.
Mm-hmm.
I retweeted him saying something like,
I gotta finish that game.
He was like, man, Persona 4 is really filling my quota on like weird anthropomorphic bears that are having existential crises or something like that.
That's a super specific quota that he has. How long has he been under that?
This might have been a lifelong thing that his quota's been unfilled for.
I mean, I've seen his hair. It makes sense.
What?
I've seen his hair. It makes sense that he would have some sort of anime constraint. Got to watch this much, or you have to stop repping that hair.
He's actually not that much of an anime fan.
No, I know. I think he mentioned that when everybody was telling him that he had anime hair on the.
Right. We're currently in talks to try to get John into the Run Button Studios to record some in-person videos, and I think I might just ask him to bring his PlayStation 3 so we can see what's doing in his Persona 4 file.
Yeah, sure, yeah. It would be way easier to get him out here if the Run Button Studio wasn't at the center of the fucking Earth. If it wasn't literally a journey to the center of the Earth to get there.
Aw.
20,000 leagues into the center of the Earth.
Can't you just catch a ride with fucking Brendan Fraser?
That dude won't give me a free ride. He's always like complaining about gas, and I'm like, "You were going there anyway. Why is this a thing?" And he's
like, "The added weight, blah blah blah." And you're like, "Fuck off."
That's something. Kyle.
Monkey Bones sucked.
Monkey Bones. Hey, Brendan Fraser, you were great on that Scrubs thing, but that's it. Sorry.
Monkey Bone, you straight donked it.
Yeah. That might have been Chris Kattan, though. That might not have been on Brendan Fraser.
Chris Kattan was in that movie?
I think so, yeah.
I saw it in the theaters once. Never looked back.
He was still riding high off Airheads.
Airheads?
You don't know Airheads?
Like
Airheads is a movie starring Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser. Steve Buscemi, and Adam Sandler, and someone else, where they play a down-on-their-luck wannabe hair metal band in the early 90s trying to get a record deal, and they do that by breaking into a studio, a radio station, and holding them all hostage until they play their demo tape.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Brendan Fraser was in, like, The Mummy and shit before Monkey Bone.
Yeah, the Mummy was good. No, Monkey Bone was before that, right?
No, it definitely wasn't.
Is Monkey Bone... I thought that Monkey Bone was like 94.
No.
Am I super wrong about that?
God, no. Yeah, you're super wrong. That was like around 2000, I think.
2001? What?
Yeah.
I just always assumed that was a shitty movie he did before he was famous.
No, that was a shitty movie he did after he was famous.
Oh, poor Brendan Fraser. And then he wasn't in anything until Scrubs, and then he's never been in anything again.
Hey, Marty ODonnell is no longer with Bungie.
Yeah, that's super sad. I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about it because it happened like a week and a half ago.
Like, that's too soon for us?
Yeah, that's a good point. God, man, that guy, I mean...
The long-term composer says he was, quote, terminated without cause. Does that mean, like, terminated with cause, and the cause was I suck in some way?
I think that it's terminated without cause, and the cause was we've been employing this guy on a regular salary for 5 years, and we haven't put out a game in 5 years.
Yeah, I wonder if it was like... your work on Destiny is done, and I think we're not going to do our whole like in-house composer thing anymore.
I think that's what it is. I think
a great mystery.
I think that their whole plan is to ride Destiny for a while, DLC wise, because it's like a sort of instanced MMO-y type of. It's not massively multiplayer, but like moderately multiplayer.
It seems fairly massive. I think there are like Guild Wars style.
There's like
hub
raids
worlds
and stuff. Yeah. It's it's a heavily instanced, probably more than Guild Wars, MMO style thing.
Well, I Guild Wars 2 is different because it's just a straight up like MMO that you don't pay monthly for. Or I guess all MMOs are like that now.
Yeah.
But
it doesn't.
I think
really
like the original Guild Wars was like it was like Diablo kind of where you would only take certain people into an instance with you, but like there were hub worlds that were straight up like MMO, like everyone's in here.
Yeah.
And I think
Guild Wars 2 is
like
much
that.
more MMO looking than Guild Wars 1.
I think, as far as I know, I think Guild Wars 2 just is an MMO.
Yeah, it is, basically. I mean, there's still a lot of instanced areas, but it's all of the hub. Basically, they made the hub worlds way, way, way bigger. And there's a giant hub world map that is an MMO, but any sort of story stuff is still all instanced.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And then even some other places that aren't story stuff are instanced. Like, just random rooms will be instanced for no reason. But so if they're going to be supporting, if they're going to spend years supporting Destiny, they don't need anyone to write any new music because he did all the music already.
Yeah, basically.
So we're not going to keep you on and pay you to do nothing until we decide to make a new game.
Yeah, and in-house
Destiny
composer
flops, though.
To be clear, an in-house composer is like a fairly
that's a
rare thing in the video game industry.
Like, I bet Blizzard has one.
Yeah, Blizzard will definitely have something like that, but yeah.
Valve might have something like that, but I don't even think they would. The only reason that he was their in-house composer was because he's been working with them since fucking Marathon.
Yeah, jeez.
Marathon was cool, though.
Hey, Keith.
Hey.
Persona 5's coming to North America.
Persona 5? That sounds great.
As if you didn't already know that.
I knew that it was coming. Is it already out in the other places in America?
No, it's coming out winter in Japan, and it is confirmed for next year for North America.
That's awesome. I'll play that. Is it multi-platform?
So far, it has only been announced for the PlayStation Triple. But
PlayStation Triple.
The PlayStation Triple, but
do you want to see something really funny?
PlayStation Triple is really only the only system that matters in Japan, because they talked about how Catherine was kind of like their hardware sort of, their test game for that generation of hardware, and they put out a 360 version in America for that game, so I can't imagine they wouldn't do the same thing for Persona 5.
Yeah, especially because like PS3 might be the only system that matters in Japan, but if they're taking it out of Japan, then they might as well, because PS3 does not matter as much as 360 in this country.
Yeah. I mean,
however slightly at this point.
You can take the Persona 5 out of Japan, but the one thing that's for certain is that you can't take Japan.
Do you want to see a funny
5.
picture of Jack Tretton?
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm not usually opposed to seeing funny pictures of Jack Trenton.
So it's the Wikipedia page picture, and it's a totally normal picture of him until you realize that there's an asset on the screen behind him that makes it look like he's got a giant gold earring.
No, that's not. That's a microphone.
Oh, it's a microphone?
Or is it an earpiece or something?
And it makes it look like he has a giant gold earring.
Yep. And he's got his hand. He's got his hand up in some kind of
gesture.
Yeah, so some kind of weird gesture that you might associate with someone with a large gold earring.
Mm-hmm. And he's got a large gold ring on, probably because he's married. But it just makes him look like a business pirate. So if you want in on this hot Jack Trenton action, you can go to en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Jack_Trenton.
Great. Hey, Keith.
Hey.
The Game Boy is 25 years old this year now.
That's
just 24 days ago, it was 25 years old.
That's actually kind of a while ago. So it's almost...
It was released in Japan April Fool's Day, 1980.
Because the hardware in that thing is some sort of sick joke. Boom.
Boom.
Gotcha, Game Boy. I love the Game Boy. I love everything about the Game Boy. As far as old systems are concerned, it's got my second favorite music on any platform.
Was that second behind the Stage 8 music in Lightning Force for the Sega Genesis?
Well, I just mean music in general, but
that music
Genesis
is stuck in my
and
head.
then the Game Boy is what I'm thinking. But that is good music.
I have that Lightning Force song stuck in my head because
there was a big argument in our stream, or not in our stream, in our forum
in the thread. Yeah, I linked it in the Something Awful thread for the Mario.
I had an extended version of that on my Twitter, where I think I could using Earthworm Jim and
should pipe that into Infinite Jukebox, see what happens.
I don't know what Infinite Jukebox is or was.
Infinite Jukebox was this site that seemed to have been made by like MIT students or something as just some kind of project.
Okay.
But you upload MP3s to it, and it will analyze the song, and it'll analyze like the beat and the notes and everything to find sort of like loop points, parts where it can jump back or forward in the song and still make it sound like it was meant to be that way.
Oh, so it's a thing that will shuffle around your song and still make it sound cool.
Yeah, and so the idea is it keeps playing the song over and over again, but it's a little different every time it plays it. And you can actually like fine tune like the number of loop points and stuff. You can like the default setting is like a sort of average amount of loops, but ones that work well and sound well. Or you can say like, I want 1,000,000 loops, but some of them will, sound kind of shitty. Like they'll be like mid-word or something in lyrics or something like that.
Yeah, someone linked us a thing of a J. Arthur Keen's band song, and I like saw it, and I was like, okay, well, this is definitely that song. I don't know what this circle is or all these lines, so I'm gonna not figure out what it is.
Right. Yeah, so that's how I heard about it, was the guy linking that on Twitter.
By the way, I do want to point out real quick that in the last 8 or so months, J. Arthur Keen's has released like 70 songs. So if you want to check his Bandcamp out, he has been releasing music like a fucking maniac.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was like between October and January, he released like 4 albums.
On this Infinite Jukebox, I've had pretty much no luck at all with uploading songs to it. Like, for some reason, every time I upload a song, it's just like, I don't know, something went wrong, we don't know what's going on. But you can listen to pretty much any MP3 that's already been uploaded. Mm-hmm. So they have a ton of stuff. They have, like, every single one of those, like, Sonic 2 and 3, like, OC remix, like, arrangements of all the songs. Like, those things. Like, Malicious Fingers.
What are you talking about, OC?
Overclock Remix. It's
Remix, okay.
Yeah, it's like a community of people that, do covers of video game music, remixes and
you mean all over the internet
and stuff.
People
it's the internet basically.
It's the internet, yeah.
But what was also there was that Zebrahead song "His World" from Sonic 06, and what was great is because there is the chorus, which is highly repetitive, and then all the verses are like this terrible sort of kind of rap thing about Sonic.
Yeah, it's really bad.
So
it's a really bad song.
When you put it into Infinite Jukebox, every chorus in the song has like 1,000,000 loop points, and the verses have none. So it's basically, when you listen to it, it's basically like listening to His World if all the verses were exactly the same and all the choruses were like 4 to 10 times longer than usual. I was like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Except for those verses. Oh man, yeah. The actual, as much as I love the end level His World,
I was hoping that was up there, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it sucks. The rest of that song is absolute ass. Or the actual version of it.
Oh, would you like to hear? You know what? Never mind. This is not even an anecdote. This is actual kind of game news.
Okay.
Nicole found this thing where Steam is notorious for not releasing data on like how many games sold, how much people are playing it, all this stuff. They don't release like any of their data.
Mm-hmm.
But what they do is they surface that data on an individual level if you visit someone's Steam page. So someone basically crunched like every single Steam user page and came up with like the ownership details and like average, all the gameplay times that people have spent playing each game and all this stuff. So there were some kind of facts. Actually,
when you say one guy did it, do you mean one guy built a machine to do it for him? A computer robot?
Yes, he didn't sit there with a fucking like pocket calculator and a piece of paper.
No. I mean, did he like? Did he build some sort of script that would look at all those pages for him, or was he?
Yeah.
Okay, because you said he did it. I was like, that can't be.
Shit. Let me see if I can find it. Well, I can't find the specific thing that she was talking about, but it had these interesting stats. Like, one thing that wasn't surprising at all is that pretty much a third of all Steam games have never been played by the person that owns them.
Wow, that's crazy.
That's pretty much my ratio. I'm pretty sure I have a third of my games I have never played.
That's insane. Yeah, I think mine is like an eighth, maybe.
I am seeing this site here called SteamCharts.com, which might be basically the thing that they were talking about. But what I found interesting was, Keith, before you look at this site, if you had to guess what the most owned game on Steam was, what would you say? Most owned. The game that is owned by the highest number of Steam accounts.
Half-Life? Wait, no, Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
Half-Life.
okay. So you're kind of thinking along the same lines as me. I guessed, like, I said Team Fortress, and then I was like, no, maybe Counter-Strike. So Team Fortress is number...
Is it Dota?
Team Fortress is number 3. Counter-Strike Geo is number 2. Or it might have been Counter-Strike Source, actually. But number 1 is Dota 2.
Yeah, yep, I nailed it.
This game that has been
Are you
going to
count that? Are you going to count that when I said Dota before you said it?
Yeah, sure, I'll count it.
Okay, great.
It's, like, the game has been officially released for less than a year, and it's already, like, so far ahead in terms of, like, number of people that have it and are playing it.
Fucking Valve has been shitting out free copies of Half-Life forever.
Half-Life 2 is in the top 10 somewhere.
Yeah. It's like every Steam sale. It's like, do you want me to give you a nickel and also this copy of Half-Life 2?
Yeah. It's... Oh, I also might have guessed something like Portal. Portal's in there in like the top 5 somewhere. But yeah, it's Dota 2. It's crazy.
That is crazy. How many of the top 10 are Valve games?
Of the top 10?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's all Valve games.
Wow.
Yeah.
They've got fucking money, right? They've got like all the money that there is.
Yeah. Gary's Mod is in there, which is kind of a Valve game, kind of not, but yeah. And what was so crazy about the Dota 2 thing was that when I went to that game data panel at PAX East recently, I saw this basically like a pie chart of the MOBA market share.
Oh, can I guess? Is that League of Legends is like double Dota?
No, it's way more than double.
Oh, wow.
Way more than double. It's like the pie chart was like 2% everything else, like 4% Dota 2, and the rest was League of Legends. It was crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, it makes sense. Like, think of the fucking packed show floor. You go to the show floor, and there's just like 300 people standing around watching a Twitch stream of League of Legends.
Yeah. And then,
dude, just get a TV.
The 2 enormous booths right next to the League of Legends booths are both MOBA games that are trying to be League of Legends. Like, there was that huge League of Legends booth, and it was, like, right across the way from that enormous, like, Infinite Crisis booth.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Can I tell you a secret, Kyle?
When did the most popular genre of game become a thing that I don't like playing?
I don't like playing it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't know when.
Though to be fair, I haven't really tried in earnest to play MOBAs.
I played
so maybe
2 hours of Dota with Ted and his friends who tried to get me to play with them.
Maybe I would be into it, but at the very least, it's not something that I look at and go, "Man, that's so awesome! I totally want to play that." Like, it's something that I would have to try to like.
Yeah, I just don't. Like, it just doesn't seem like anything that I would ever want to play. And I've tried it, and it wasn't anything that I would want to play. But I'm sure there's League of Legends people out there being like, "Oh, it's because you did Dota 2, and Dota 2 is a pile of garbage." But
because everyone that plays Dota 2 says that League of Legends is a pile of garbage. So
no, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that it goes both ways.
Like, yeah.
Anybody, as far as I know, League of Legends is not associated with the most gracious and forgiving community.
I'm pretty sure everybody that plays Dota 2 thinks that League of Legends is a dumb baby game for babies. For babbies.
Well, they both are that.
It's a dumb baby game for babbies.
No, that's not fair. I've never.
I think Dota 2 is more complex than League of Legends, from what I understand. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Then they have that. Then now there's Blizzard has Heroes of the Storm, which is a really simplified, apparently, MOBA game.
Mm-hmm.
It still fucking blows my mind that Blizzard has like 6 games and they still felt to cannibalize their own acronym for one of their games. Because they made StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm, and then the very next game they put out was Heroes of the Storm. Why?
I don't know. Because they have $1 billion and they don't care. And by $1 billion,
weird.
I mean more than that, probably.
That game was like a million years in the making, too. They announced
StarCraft?
They originally announced it as Blizzard Dota, and then when Valve announced Dota 2, they changed it to Blizzard All-Stars. And that was, God, like, it had to be like 5 or 6 years ago at this point.
Yeah, that was I think it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, maybe not 6. It's a lot, but
it's been a long time. It's been a long time.
It's been a long time, baby.
What is it about? We should get someone on that knows what a MOBA is and why they are. Because I just don't get it.
I kind of get it.
Well, I mean, I understand what it is, but I don't understand, like, what is it about this thing that makes it the most popular type of thing that there is?
Yeah, that I don't understand. I don't understand how I can listen to the Giant Bombcast and Brad would be like, "Oh, what have I been playing in the last week? Only Dota. Only this game that I've already put 100 hours into."
Well, I understand putting, hundreds of hours into a game. What I don't understand, and I understand games being massively popular. What I don't understand is how, under my nose, a genre I have zero interest in became the most successful genre of all time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What's so crazy about it? It's not like, okay, yeah, like how you're saying.
It
I
feels
understand
similar.
things being popular, and I understand people liking games. Like, I understand games that don't appeal to me.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of games. Like, generally, almost every genre of game appeals to me in some way. And it's crazy to me that one of the very few that doesn't really appeal to me all that much at all is somehow, by far, the most popular now, somehow.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It feels a lot like when overnight it was like, oh, this I don't want to compare. I'm not talking about quality here. I want to make that clear before I say what I'm about to say. It feels like the moment when overnight I realized, like, oh, Zynga makes $80 billion a minute and making these games that I never would play in a million years. Like, how, and...
Are they still making a lot of money?
What's that?
Zynga, are they still making a lot of money?
No, they're not making that much money anymore.
Yeah.
And I do not think that this MOBA thing is as flash in the pan as Zynga was, but...
No.
Zynga's still making a lot of money. They're just not making old Zynga money.
Old Zynga money.
Yeah. I hear they're moving into making episodes of SpongeBob on a cartridge as a last-ditch effort.
It's a last-ditch effort.
Yeah,
great.
People still want 20-minute versions of 23-minute episodes of SpongeBob in black and white.
Great. Did you ever see any of those? any of those?
Casey had one of those.
Oh, wow.
One of those little video players or something. What are they called? What were those called?
Game Boy Advances.
Oh, I'm talking about a different type of machine that specifically only played.
Well, THQ, or was it Majesco? One of those companies made like an embarrassing amount of money selling essentially what you're talking about is Game Boy Advance cartridges that played episodes of like SpongeBob and shit like that.
Yeah, that was Majesco. There was around the same time that was happening, they also had like a dedicated hand player that would only do that.
Gotcha.
And I don't know if Majesco was also somehow involved in that, but it also highly revolved around SpongeBob.
Great.
These are SpongeBob-based businesses.
Mm-hmm. So I told you about a little bit of this, but still on this game data panel that I went to at PAX East, it was like this panel that was put on by a guy who is, I think, one of the founders, or at least he was a very early member of this company that is all about, analyzing market trends and this kind of stuff, and is basically employed by different publishers to help games sell better, basically. Help them not lose as much money on their multi-million-dollar video games.
Right.
And he was showing facts about, he talking about, the explosion of mobile and mobile games that happened around 2010, and it's still happening.
Mm-hmm.
And how, in 2010, when mobile games really took off, it was, the number of games that was coming out around that year basically, octupled, if you included mobile and stuff like that. And then he got to, well, if mobile's so big, why are we still talking about console games? And then he showed this graph to illustrate how console games still make the majority of the money. And they basically showed,
So console games are mobile game whales?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Keith. Thank you for paying attention. They showed the amount of money that, in 2010, so it was, Modern Warfare 2 came out holiday 09, so then they showed, the amount of money that Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 made versus how much money the Modern Warfare 2 map packs made versus, Zynga and Angry Birds. And Zynga and Angry Birds made about the same amount of money as the map packs did, and the map packs made about, a tenth of the money that the game itself made, which was, really
That's
put things in
lot
perspective.
Of money.
It's still a ton of money, but it was...
Yeah.
It really shone a light on just how goddamn popular, how much money Call of Duty makes.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, then you also have to think of it like the amount of people that go into making Call of Duty and how the money gets split up between developers and publishers, and then Zynga is not technically a huge company, and they are making their games and they are publishing their games.
Zynga's a pretty big company.
They're not Call of Duty and their publisher big. That's not the money gets split up much. It's a much more concentrated.
I don't know. I bet if you were counting, if you were taking the number of people that work for Activision and removing people that are not involved in the production or distribution of Call of Duty, people that aren't seeing any money from that, just other Activision studios or whatever, I bet that number is not that much different from the whole number of Zynga employees.
Okay, hold on. Zynga has 1 billion people that work there.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they just
is
so
Zynga
there's
not a huge company?
I thought. I mean, I knew that Zynga was big, but I didn't know that they were such a fucking monstrously huge company. It's saying this is from a year ago. Almost. This is from 8 months ago. It says Zynga to lay off 520 employees, 18% of staff.
Yeah.
So fuck everything I said.
That's a lot.
How did they get that many people?
They have a lot of money.
But how are they employed? How do they keep those people? I mean, I guess
apparently
that's why
they
they're laying
didn't.
off 520.
Yeah,
exactly. Okay. What were you saying? Were you saying anything that I can't interrupt?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, because speaking of layoffs,
okay,
GameStop closed 120 of their stores and says that they want to focus on mobile.
Great.
What is it?
So here's the thing where I'm confused. Is 120 GameStop stores like not that many GameStops, right?
They have
where
6,500 GameStops.
Yeah.
So it's not an insignificant amount.
65
but then like
100 out of 6,500 is fairly insignificant.
But I think that the idea is like, hey, we're gonna like if this mobile thing works, we're probably gonna close a lot more stores. By the way,
focusing on mobile, what does that mean? Like selling mobile phones, right?
I don't know what that means. Like I read 2 different news things about it, and both of them were kind of unclear. Hold on, let me scan a thing. This is on IGN or something. Yeah, IGN.
And I know like this is kind of an aside, but I know this is a fact that most people have already heard. But you know that like in the past year they've sold more iPhones and iPads than like all the other years that those things have existed combined?
Yep. I don't understand it. I don't get it. That's like the Dota of technology. To me.
Crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. Because it's like, I understand what place an iPad fits into a person's mobile compendium.
I like my iPhone and iPad.
I like
quite
my
a bit.
Windows Phone and my Android tablet.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to break this to you.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to put it out there like a Band-Aid. I'm going to say it really fast.
Yeah.
You have a Windows Phone and an Android tablet. You have an iPhone and an iPad.
I know. That's
like
not. I wasn't
real
trying
talk.
to separate them.
Okay.
I have. Yeah. But like what I'm saying is like I don't see how iPhones I get. I don't see how iPads and other tablets are like.
You're right.
Things that this many people are needing.
You're right, because like Nicole and I have an iPad, and you have like a tablet, but like we're not everybody else. Like
right.
I can see how a smartphone is a thing that pretty much anyone would want to have, but you're right. Mm-hmm. I don't really see where the iPad is fitting into everybody's life. I guess it's just the easiest way to browse Facebook on your couch is like why people like it or something. Like they're buying $500 Facebook machines. Is that it?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I feel like people are buying them because they're iPads and not because they need iPads. Like I just don't get how this is like.
But when I mean, it's Nicole's iPad, so I have never bought an iPad.
Right.
She just came with one in
right.
our agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking about buying one, even knowing like there's no great reason to get a tablet. It's just kind of like
it's just the thing that's popular to get.
It's just enough little reasons, like little improvements to your life that it's kind of like, oh, this would be nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like this whole Apple thing is about to burst to me, and it's felt like that for about 2 years.
Right. That's what we all thought last year. We're like, this is about to burst, and then they sold as many iPhones and iPads as they had before
the burst
combined.
Is gonna be crazier. Like I can't imagine this kid. Like it can't continue at this pace because eventually people are gonna realize like, oh, well, I barely use my iPad and I only get excited when there's a new iPad coming out, and I have to stop spending $500 every other year on a new iPad.
Well, you got to remember, most of these iPhones and iPads are being sold to people that don't already have smartphones. It's not like everybody trading in their old iPhone for a new one. It's like we're finally reaching the point where pretty much everybody has a smartphone. Like it's no longer it is a luxury item, but it's not like a high-end luxury thing where only a few people have them. Like pretty much everyone has a smartphone now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
like an HD TV. It used to be a thing where it's like, ooh, Jerry has an HD TV, and now we just all have them.
Yeah, they don't even sell non-HD TVs.
Yeah.
If you have an HD TV, if you don't have an HD TV, that means you haven't bought a TV in 10 years.
At least. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so it says okay. So
and you should hook a Super Nintendo up to it and play games the way they were meant to be played.
Mm-hmm. This is Colin Moriarty wrote this on IGN. It says this is just one paragraph from the thing. GameStop has its collective eye set on mobile, specifically on Apple-branded devices like the iPhone and iPad. GameStop-owned brands like Spring Mobile and Simply Mac will expand at a significant rate in the fiscal year to fulfill Rain's goals for the company.
Oh.
What? But, like, can you tell me what that means? Do they have
their own brands, I guess. I guess GameStop makes their own smart devices.
Spring? What is Simply Mac? That can't be their own brand. That sounds too much like another brand I know.
Well, maybe it's them. Maybe it's how they brand their refurbished Apple devices. Because GameStop has been buying and selling Apple devices for a long time.
Simply Mac is a GameStop branded third-party Apple store.
Huh.
GameStop owns Simply Mac's goes where Apple stores won't. And basically, think of an Apple store.
Okay.
Take the geniuses and make them Smarties, and then take all the things. I invented that. Just because they have to change something.
Okay.
And take all the white in the store and make it green.
Black. Green?
No, it's green.
Green.
Yeah, bright green.
Okay. But what does it mean? It goes where Apple won't. Does it just mean like you walk in and they're like, this thing plays games?
I think basically what it means is that Apple won't build stores in shittier areas, places that they deem are shittier areas.
Right,
and
that makes
Simply
sense.
Mac does not have a problem doing.
You know what? That explains why there's no fucking Apple stores on the entire Cape.
Yeah. It says it's not an Apple knockoff. Simply Mac is an authorized retailer and repairer of Apple products owned by GameStop.
Gotcha. Huh? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, me neither. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And now that I think about it, it seems like every time I go into GameStop, there's like at least one guy asking the clerk how much money they'll get for, X old Apple iPod/iPhone thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they buy that. They've been buying those for a couple of years.
And it's never a lot of money either.
But think of what is going? GameStop just decided to yeah, we're gonna maybe not sell games as much and instead repair iPhones.
I mean, you go where the money is, right?
Yeah, but they're wicked late on that. I think. I mean, I guess
I don't think so.
There's never been more iPhones and iPads, so there's never been a better time to have a business based around repairing iPhones and iPads.
Yep.
But I don't know. I'm living life where every day is the day that people stop caring about iPads.
No.
Maybe today, maybe tomorrow.
Nope.
It's not. I mean, it's not coming soon.
Okay,
it's about to happen.
This is the thing that's confusing me when you say this. Now, when you say you're waiting for them to stop caring about iPads, do you mean they're gonna start realizing that there are other brands, or do you mean you literally expect people to stop caring about smart tablet devices?
I think a little bit of both. I think that I think that overall tablet sales are going to go down, and also people are going to stop buying iPads as often.
I think you're crazy.
I think that iPads are insanely expensive, and they're worse than Android tablets.
Okay.
Which are cheaper, is what I think.
We have our own disagreements about this, but I mean, Apple, I don't know about tablets, but I'm pretty sure they have about 25% of the smartphone market share. Mm-hmm. Which is a lot for a single company that essentially puts out one product, one or two products.
It's basically their 25%, and you're like, oh, the other 75% is,
everybody else.
Windows Phone and Android, but no, the other 75% is 100 different companies all using Windows and Android.
So, but my point is, it's not but 75% of smartphones sold are not iPhones. So it's not like it's just people are already buying Android tablets and Android phones.
I think they're buying Android phones. I don't think they're buying Android tablets as much, because Android tablets were super shitty for the first couple years. It was only last year that they started making really high quality Android tablets.
Yeah. I just think there's no way that tablets are going to stop being a thing. If anything,
no. I think I think they're going to change. I don't think all right, this is going to sound super annoying. We've talked about this before.
Okay.
I want someone I really think that the Surface was a really good idea, the Surface Pro specifically, and I think that more people are going to start doing that, and that's the way that things are going to go. I don't think that the Surface is going to do well. I think that someone else is going to do well with that.
You could be right, but I think the thing is that it was like I mentioned before, is most people just want like simple internet browsing, email, and Facebook. And, it's like first they might have had a desktop computer or no computer, and then they got laptops, and now they have iPads. And, I don't think people are going to lose interest in tablets. I think I think all of their computer interest is going to shift to a tablet where it's like, why do I need a laptop? I just want to browse Facebook. iPad does that perfectly. iPad is all I need. Or Android tablet
is so
or whatever.
Stupid. No one likes Facebook anymore.
God, I know. Facebook
but like
sucks.
for real, no one likes Facebook anymore. I don't know anyone that likes Facebook. People treat Facebook like it's a burden. People are just looking for an excuse to stop using Facebook.
People your age who are like you, because obviously those people don't like Facebook. Like Nicole's mom lives on Facebook. Like if she could literally set up like a hut inside of Facebook to live in, she would.
That sounds like a shitty hut.
Yeah.
That sounds worse than the other hut I know, Pizza Hut.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, my mom has started using Facebook a lot.
Okay. I only have one aunt that really uses Facebook. My mom doesn't really use Facebook. My dad doesn't use Facebook. I don't use Facebook. None of my friends really use Facebook. Megan doesn't even have a Facebook anymore.
I mean, I think Facebook might be losing popularity, but it's losing popularity. Like it's like how you talked about Twitch Plays Pokemon, how it had like 95,000 concurrent viewers for like Pokemon Red and Blue, and then like Gold and Silver started, or Crystal or whatever, and it was down to like 20, and now it's down to like 12.
And like in my head, I was like, it's dead.
Yeah,
but like it's still 12. Right now, by the way, it is 2,500.
Yeah, that's pretty low. 2,500 still like. I would say about
third of our all-time Twitch channel views.
Yeah, it's still like about 5 to 8 times more concurrent viewers than we've ever had on our channel, and like it's at its lowest, saddest point.
Yeah,
it's like Facebook might be losing popularity. It's still insanely popular.
Yeah, but that's what I'm like. When I say that, I feel like it's all about to burst. I don't mean like. I guess I don't mean like tomorrow it's going to explode. I mean like eventually and maybe relatively soon it's going to drop off a significant amount and then it's going to be a slow decline.
Well, I mean Facebook has its future secured by banking on Oculus, right?
Yeah, that's the one thing that'll save them. Oh, so speaking of that, did you know that a week before he bought that Facebook bought Oculus, Zuckerberg went and tried out the Sony thing?
Huh.
He had like a test thing with the Sony thing, and then like I guess decided like, I'm going to do the Oculus.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think the idea was that he was going to buy one of either of them.
Yeah. Well, also Oculus is a smaller, way more focused company than Sony. I don't know if Facebook was going to buy Sony.
Well, I think the way that they were doing it is that Sony owns the company that's making the what do Sony call their thing?
I don't know.
It's called
Schmoculus.
Schmoculus, yeah.
Schmoculus Schmidt.
Yeah, I think they own the company that makes Schmoculus, and like I was reading something and the guy that owns that like is the head of the company that Sony owns was like, wish he would have bought us.
Right.
Like he said that.
Well, yeah.
So I don't think it's like, I don't think they're unbuyable. I think they're just as buyable as Oculus was.
Facebook may or may not be losing popularity, but they're not a sinking ship like Sony.
Yeah, I don't know why I have more faith in Sony than in Facebook, but because I shouldn't.
Yeah, I think you're right about smartphone and tablet sales dropping. Just because so many people have them now. It's like HD TVs. How there was like this boom of everybody dropping their old shitty TVs and buying HD TVs. And the TV companies grew fat on their large gooses of new people buying HD TVs. And
they
then
were just medieval kings downing goose legs.
Yeah,
in all bites.
And then all of a sudden, it just stopped because everyone had HD TVs now, and they're like, guys, now it's all about 3D TVs, and I don't know, maybe 4K, and everyone was like, "Go fuck yourself."
The 4K thing, I think, is real.
It'll be real eventually. It's not going to be
real. It'll be real in it's real in the same way that HD TVs were real in 1994.
Like, I put it this way: when the 360 came out, it was like, I'm an HD console, and it shipped with like component cables in the box. Like, the current consoles now, PS4 and Xbox One, they have been rumored that they will secretly support 4K if enabled sometime in the future. Yeah. You know, it's like they can probably do it, but it's not even a thing that they're advertising yet.
I don't believe that anyone would ever have a better experience playing an Xbox One or PS4 game on 4K. Trying to fill that resolution on two machines that already can barely do 1080.
You're right. Well, no, it's not barely. They can do it.
I don't know. Like,
I was really sad to hear. I watched the unfinished Watch Dogs video that went up on Giant Bomb recently.
Fuck Watch Dogs.
What?
I'm so bummed out about Watch Dogs. Is that not where you're going about how Watch Dogs looked like the best game in the world and now it looks super boring?
No, I just never thought it looked like the best game in the world.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think it's a little disappointing from, people's hopes about it. Mainly, I'm just kind of upset about how the E3 initial showing really pitched it as like as some kind of like, it's always multiplayer all the time, I don't know, fuck, and it's like totally not that at all. Maybe
I don't mind that. That's not the part that I mind.
Really?
Yeah. Basically, it seemed like, I don't know, it seemed like this really cool cyberpunk-y sort of game that had like some actual point to say about stuff in a real way, and it just seems like some cool aesthetics and a really boring narrative.
Yeah,
it seemed like it could have had a really amazing story to tell.
I was never expecting it to have any kind of interesting story. I was maybe hoping for like a cool world.
Yeah, I think it probably will still have a cool world, but it also seems kind of racist.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, anyways, my point was I was just gonna bring up that Brad said he saw the PC version and the PS4 version and said that like the PC version looked significantly better, and like maybe this is just Watch Dogs-ish, but like, dude, PC games should not already be looking significantly better than the current console counterparts.
Yeah. I feel like there was supposed to be a leap, and there just wasn't. There was supposed to be a couple years where like the clear winner was the console.
Well, not necessarily.
Like,
I mean,
unless you had a super high-end computer.
PC,
like that's what.
Yeah, like PC would never be weaker than the consoles reasonably,
right?
But it should have at least been like there should have at least been no real difference.
Well, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking back to like when the Xbox 360 first came out and the PS3 first came out, and like if you were someone like my cousin Ted who's got always has like the highest end shit in his computer.
Yeah.
Like that will always look better than a console.
Yeah.
But my $700 budget gaming computer should not already look better than PS3 and PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah. And
it does. Oh, it's such a bummer.
I think it'll also take time for people to I mean, first of all, you need exclusives. Like we're still in that.
Here's the thing: is that Microsoft put out a thing saying, "Hey, this generation, we're going to try really, really hard to start putting out all of our exclusives on PC."
Really?
Yeah, they said that. And when they said that, I was like, "Oh, maybe I won't even have to buy a console this generation."
That is so weird.
Yeah, like if they say like, Halo 5 for the Xbox One and PC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we're still in that early, we're only like 6 months into the generation, so we're still in that early part where like 95% of the games are really targeted at like old consoles, and they have like a counterpart that's on current consoles, and then, even the very few ones that are exclusive to these consoles, like like Infamous Second Son, they're still very early games. That were even most of them initially targeted at launch, and then were kind of pushed back a little bit. Like even Watch Dogs is that.
Yeah.
So we still haven't, we're not into the generation yet. To be fair.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah, I guess give them like a couple more months or a year.
Yeah. Sounds like
Titanfall's really good though. You should get Titanfall and play Titanfall with me.
Sounds like Xbox One is doing better.
Yeah. Did you hear the bombcast for this week?
Yeah.
Where the guy emailed in about like the weird numbers that he had access to at GameSpot.
Yeah,
GameStop. God, still
Best Buy.
It's been
actually
a billion years. Oh, okay. Well, he didn't say, but
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like PS4 is selling between 5 and 1 units more than Xbox in the areas he has access to the data for.
I'm pretty sure at this point PS4 and Xbox One combined have sold more at this point than the Xbox 360 sold in its first year when it was like the only next gen console around.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing.
Yeah, that's the thing to consider is that, but there was a whole year where all the sales were going to only one thing.
Yeah.
So now they're divided in half.
But even when you take those two and add them together, it's still more. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like, because
if you look at the Xbox sales and you're like, this is nowhere near the first year of Xbox sales. It's because hey,
PS4.
there's 2 systems now, and if you combine them both, they're more. So we're agreeing. We're just making different.
Yeah, 'cause on the Bombcast they mentioned that Sony came out and said that they had sold 7 million PS4s, and
right.
Xbox said that they had shipped.
They pulled some hot shit.
They had shipped 4 million or 5 million or something like that. So it's not sold.
Yeah.
But even when you think about PS4 having already sold 7 million in 6 months, I remember like later on in the first year of the 360 when the PS3 and Wii were, on the horizon and they were about to come out, Microsoft said something asinine like, "Oh, we're almost to 10 million." And in generations past, the first console to reach 10 million sold was always the victor of the generation. And so we've just got a little bit more to go, and then we've got this on lock, guys. So you should join Team Xbox.
Yeah, they really shot themselves in the foot there.
That was silly. But, so even in that first year, they weren't at 10 million yet.
Yeah. And then, man, Microsoft still hasn't recovered from all that bullshit they pulled before the Xbox launched. I still hear people talking about that stuff like it's still a thing.
Do you really?
Yeah, I totally do, yeah.
Like who?
Like my friends who are into video games.
Damn.
Yeah. I hear stuff. I was listening to some podcast that is not about. It's a comedy podcast, but they all play video games. They'll talk about video games sometimes, and they mentioned the Kinect being always on.
Oh,
it was stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like DRM and stuff. And
I forgot about that Kinect thing.
Yeah. That was a thing that was one of the ones that I don't think Microsoft even ever actually said. Someone implied it, maybe kind of, but they were wrong. I don't know. Man, that was a dark couple months for Microsoft. I feel kind of bad for them.
I have never seen a product whose vision or whatever you want to call it was so poorly communicated to the consumers.
Never.
Because they came out with... Because all it was a list of bad things. Like, no used games, and the Kinect is always on, and blah, blah, blah. And at no point did Microsoft come out and say, okay, so we have all these bad things, but here's why it's actually a good thing. They never even tried to spin it.
Yeah. It's like the PR guy, or whoever was saying them, had a list of pros and cons, and just left the pros at home. And then just decided, fuck it. Because a lot of the stuff they were talking about could have been really interesting if they ran with it. If they stuck to it and worked it out and figured out what they were doing and did digital sales and family shit. All that stuff could have been cool. All of that stuff is Steam. The most popular
I was just gonna. They were just talking about turning Xbox into Steam, which I'm not saying necessarily is great or that you have to be into that idea, but at least they didn't even try to make that connection.
Yeah,
to the point that
they
people
didn't try to
didn't
make that
even
connection.
see it.
Yeah, it was infuriating, and people still think that stuff. People still think that that's like what the Xbox One is.
Of course, why would they not think that? That's what
Exactly,
Microsoft
because
said
it's
it
all that
was.
they heard. Yeah, but then that's all that they heard, and like they did like, oh man, it's just so frustrating.
That game sharing thing sounded cool.
It did sound cool. Everybody freaked out about it. At the time, people freaked out about it. Even in this sort of knows everything about video games community,
Yeah.
people freaked out about it. Like, think about it for a second. That just, like, all of this stuff is just Steam, and you love Steam. Although, Origin is just Steam, and I hate Origin, so.
Oh, did you hear, here's a hot news story for you.
Okay.
Origin will no longer be offering physical products.
They were offering physical products?
Exactly.
You could buy, like, a disc from Origin
Yes.
and have it shipped to you?
Uh-huh. I just retweeted that story one day, and I was like, #breaking things, like, online digital service stopped doing thing nobody knew it was doing. Yeah, apparently you could buy
weird.
physical games from Origin, but now you can't. They're taking away options. This is anti-consumer. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna contact the Better Business Bureau.
I'll be honest. I'm at a point where I keep buying games on Steam instead of like other DRM free services, and I'm kind of starting like I'm not sure if I should feel dumb or not that I keep opting for like the DRM version where if Steam ever stops existing, I lose all my games. But it's so much more convenient than like I don't know, here's a zip file with all your shit. Try not to lose it or just come back and download it again later.
I think that like worst case scenario, Steam explodes and all those games go away. You're better off buying the couple games you still would regularly play back and just continuing on from there.
Yeah,
like,
I don't...
Like, the amount of Steam... Like, I have... Let me see.
Especially now because my Steam library is so big that I don't want to have to worry about, like, the 5 games that I have in other places.
I have 131 Steam games. Like, if Steam ever broke and I had to rebuy any of them, there's probably only, like, 10 or 15 that I would feel like I needed to.
Right.
And then, all of those at whatever future point we're talking about will be, on some crazy sale on some other site.
Or just no one's even gonna pretend to care about piracy.
Yeah. Like, I bought these games. Shut up, Steam.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal these games because I bought them. Some of them twice.
A lot of them twice. Apparently,
you buy a lot of them twice. I don't.
John Davies is playing Borderlands now.
Oh yeah? Did you tell him to not play Borderlands 2?
Yeah. or I said like, I think it was more just like you should start with 1 because 2 might like going from 2 to 1 might feel like a backward step, but like 2 is just 1 again, so.
But not as funny.
It might as well be the same game, so why bother starting with 2? Like you're not missing anything. Because I think he saw the pre-sequel booth at PAX East, and he was just like, people seem to like Borderlands. And I'm like, yeah, it's super good. You should play it. So apparently he is now.
I feel like I had such high hopes for Gearbox as a thing, and then I don't anymore.
Gearbox has existed for a while.
Yeah, but like Borderlands came out, and then I was made aware of them, like as a thing that could make games that I love. And then since they put out Borderlands, they have not made another thing that I've been interested in.
No. I was disappointed that, like, there didn't really seem to be anything wrong with Borderlands 2. It was just kind of...
It was kind of not funny, and there was something about the combat that was
I thought it was funny. It just felt like Borderlands again. Didn't really feel like they made any significant improvements whatsoever to the game.
Yeah, but I feel like some of the stuff was even like a step back. I don't know. It was maybe it was just the fact that Borderlands had aged and I was expecting something newer, but it just shooting things in the Borderlands 2 game was not as fun as shooting things in the Borderlands 1 game.
Apparently GameSpy, the multiplayer hosting service is
dead.
Is being
Gone.
discontinued, and Borderlands is one of like the few like actual big name games that still used GameSpy. Like I remember when Borderlands came out on PC.
A lot of Capcom games use Konami.
Konami?
Konami or one of the two. I always can never remember which one I'm talking about.
I don't know if it's either of those, but I remember when Borderlands PC came out and it used GameSpy, and everyone was like, GameSpy still exists? Well, now it doesn't anymore, and Borderlands PC apparently is going to have no multiplayer service until 2K replaces it with something else.
Yeah, Capcom, by the way.
Okay. Apparently there's already another service you can use called Game Ranger, because John has a Mac, so he's playing Borderlands on a Mac, which uses Game Ranger, and he looked it up, and it was like, oh yeah, Windows players can play co-op with Mac players, but you have to like go and externally use Game Ranger instead of the built-in GameSpy thing.
Windows players can play with Mac players, but they have to go over that person's house.
So apparently you can use Game Ranger. I don't know.
Sure,
I've never heard of Game Ranger.
Me neither. I've barely heard of GameSpy.
Oh, really?
At this point.
Sure.
I mean, it's been so long since I mean, except for when I heard that news story other places.
Mm-hmm. I saw that news story and I got a little sad because I was like, oh no, what games that aren't Borderlands that aren't getting new multiplayer are just not going to have multiplayer anymore? And I looked at the list and it was like 20 things that you probably hadn't heard of that really didn't matter. Like Civ 5, I think, also uses it, and Civ 5 is going to have its multiplayer replaced. And that was like pretty much it.
Civ 5 is such a good game.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They're putting out a new thing, a new expansion, I think.
Yeah, they also just announced that After Earth thing.
Maybe that's what I was thinking of. So not an expansion, another whole thing.
Another whole thing.
A whole other thing.
That's supposed to be kind of like Alpha Centauri, except I never played Alpha Centauri. So I don't know.
I played a little bit of Alpha Centauri. People really like that game. I can't really remember it because I was pretty young. Hey, do you want to hear about something that's not really about video games?
I guess so. Hey, wait! SimCity's offline mode launches today, and by today I mean... Oh, this is really old. A month ago. Never mind. Apparently, Giant Bomb has been putting out even less news stories recently than usual.
Yeah, a lot less.
Apparently Sonic is in Smash Brothers now, the new one, still.
He was in the last one.
But he still is, though.
Yeah, super. I had never even considered that they might take him out. Have they ever taken a character out? Once you're in, you're in. It's like the priesthood.
No, they have to have. They took out some characters.
I don't know. Ness is still in there.
Was Game
Mr. Game & Watch
was Game & Watch in Brawl?
Yep,
okay.
Game & Watch is in Brawl.
We're gonna have to pull up this. We're gonna have to pull up this roster because I'm gonna find somebody that didn't make it over. Ice Climbers, are they in Brawl?
Yes.
Okay.
Have they ever removed a character?
Was Dr. Mario in Brawl?
Smash Brothers.
Was Dr. Mario in Brawl?
Almost certainly.
I don't know about Dr. Mario.
Super removed characters. Super Smash Brothers Wikipedia page.
There you go. Is it just a one-word entry that says nobody?
No.
Nobody, you idiot.
Oh, okay. So
Jigglypuff.
No, Jigglypuff? No, Jigglypuff's in it for sure. Yeah, like that's one of the staple characters.
Jigglypuff is a staple character? Fuck Jigglypuff.
Jigglypuff is a staple character. They might have. Okay, for Brawl, they replaced Mewtwo with Lucario, but that's the same character.
Young Link was not in Brawl. They had Toon Link and regular Link. There was no Young Link.
Toon Link is Young Link. He's just young Toon Link.
Yeah, but they look different.
They look. Yeah,
hold on.
Does
Toon Link drink milk?
I'm sure he does, but I've never seen him.
I don't think they're the same. All right, what are the removed characters?
This is not the. This is a different thing that I was.
It's characters that were like removed from tournament play or something.
Oh, Dr. Mario was not in Brawl.
Fucking knew it.
Wait, I'm gonna make sure.
Let's hope Lucario is not in the new one.
Nope, he's in Brawl. This is okay. So hey guys, the Super Smash Brothers wiki page is terrible. It's like this is removed characters category page. One of them is Dr. Mario, and then I click on Dr. Mario, and it's like games that he's in. He's in Smash Brothers and in Brawl. In Melee and Brawl. So I don't.
What are the other ones?
The other ones are Mewtwo, Roy, Dr. Mario, Pichu, Toon Zelda and Toon Sheik, and Plusle and Minun.
Toon Sheik?
Toon Sheik.
No
Well, it says Toon Zelda and Sheik, but I can only assume that they mean Toon Sheik.
There was no Toon Zelda. Unless, like, they said it was going to be in the new one and then said, wait, no, it isn't.
This is a Toon-styled Zelda from the Wind Waker.
That was definitely not in Brawl. For sure.
Well, yeah, it was a removed character.
No, but it wasn't in Melee either. Melee came out before the Wind Waker.
This article is about someone hacked into a disk, into the disk data, and saw all of these characters that were not in the game.
Oh, yeah. Toon Zelda would have been so awesome.
Yeah. Though no such character appeared in the final retail version of the game, hackers discovered a character file package in the game that was designed or designated for the two, indicating that the pair was once planned to appear in the game.
Yeah. But I mean, if Toon Zelda turned into Toon Sheik, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because obviously Toon Zelda should turn into Tetra.
Yeah, it says right here, some speculate that, quote, Toon Sheik may refer to Tetra, as Sheik was never depicted in Wind Waker. Apparently the file was called Toon Sheik.
Huh.
But, yeah, so... Listen, they got you covered on this. They know all about Tetra.
I guess so. I mean, listen...
Yeah. If there's one thing Super Smash Brothers.wikia.com/wiki/Toon Zelda Sheik is good for, it's knowing who Tetra is. Well, this is the thing. It says not all Super Smash Brothers characters will make the leap to Wii U and 3DS.
Okay.
And they're quoted as saying that there's simply not enough time. They've had forever.
It's being made by Namco now, right?
I don't even
know.
Here's
the thing that I'm confused about.
So I think the implication is that everybody who's been in it has been brought back to this point, but maybe not into the future.
I feel like Nintendo said that that they were outsourcing the development of the new Smash Brothers to Namco because, they were all busy working on other projects or something.
Like what?
But it's
that's their biggest fucking thing at this point.
Do you not have the time to make your, one of your most popular games yourself? Yeah,
that's insane. That's like Valve saying that they're going to outsource Half-Life 3. We just don't have the time for this. The one thing that everyone's been waiting for, we don't have the time.
The thing is, you said it it would be as crazy as this, and then I'm like, man, that sounds like a thing that would actually happen.
At this point, maybe, yeah.
But also,
by the way,
follow-up
I was talking
to what the
guy
fuck is
Half-Life
Nintendo
3 is
doing?
confirmed.
What the fuck is Valve doing? Besides making all the money for...
They're making hats and making Dota.
I want to go back to when I really liked Valve and was not super annoyed that they wouldn't give me Half-Life 3.
Well, because it would have...
Hey, Valve, stop recording Dota 2 announcer packs and make Half-Life 3, please. Thank you.
The argument used to be, hey, leave them alone, even though they're not making Half-Life 3, they still have been making all these other games that I really like, but they haven't made a game that I've really liked in a pretty long time at this point.
I think Portal 2 came out 4 years ago at this point.
Yeah. It's been 3.5 years since Portal 2. No, 4 years.
4 years.
It came out in early of the Man, yeah, fucking dude, and then Dota.
And then Dota.
I think we've made it clear that we don't give a shit about Dota. Get it right, and they've never been more successful than they are now.
Yeah.
But here's the problem: they've been doing it. They can't. Let's be real, Kyle. Do you want to get real for a second?
Okay.
They can't make a good Half-Life 3.
Why?
They can't make a Half-Life 3 that's going to satisfy anyone.
Why?
It's been too long. They're Duke Nukeming themselves.
I don't know.
They can't make a game that is to Half-Life 1 what Half-Life 2 was. Sorry. They can't make a game that is to Half-Life 2 what Half-Life 2 is to Half-Life 1.
They don't need to, though. They just need to make a good Half-Life game, and they've done that a bunch of times. Obviously, they know how to do it.
When was the last time they made a good Half-Life game?
Half-Life 2 Episode 2?
And when was that? 2007?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah, but there was a long time between 1 and 2.
Not that long,
Listen,
right?
Okay. You cannot use the argument that, like, people at Valve don't remember how to make Half-Life games. That's fucking insane.
It's happened before. Not with Valve. Sometimes people forget how to make their own games. It happened with Sonic. They forgot how to make Sonic games.
Sonic Team is totally different because it's like all like
because they all died.
Because they all died in that horrific plane crash where everybody from the Sonic 3 development team died. It's been like a decade since, you know, like there was a decade in between when Sonic was a 2D game and when people tried to make another 2D Sonic game. Like, it's not the same for Half-Life. Like, do you ever remember a story about, like, all the lead designers of Half-Life leaving Valve? No, they're all still fucking at Valve. They can make another Half-Life. Shut the fuck up, Valve. Go make a fucking Half-Life game. Assholes.
Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's like, the fact that they're so silent about it is the most obnoxious thing. Like, if they, every once in a while, if they just, like, showed a little bit of progress or said anything about it, but it was only recently that they even mentioned it for years.
They still haven't.
No. I thought Gabe Newell said something like late last year.
No, they said, like, there were, first of all, they said they had 3 big announcements about the future of Valve or Steam, and everyone flipped out and thought it was going to be Half-Life 3 because they're crazy, and it was really just 3 things about Steambox. But there was also something, like, I think it was even from like a year or 2 ago, where they said at E3 or some other event that they were going to announce, they were going to announce a game with a 3 in it, and then they didn't do that. So
no. So I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing.
I literally just think they're fucking with people.
I feel like Half-Life 3 is in development, but it was probably like, I think at this point they're not announcing anything because they feel like it has to be awesome before they do, because people have been waiting for so long. But that's how you end up not releasing a game. Like, that's how you Duke Nukem it, is if you keep holding back forever and ever because it has to be the greatest thing.
I think they are Duke Nukeming it.
Yeah,
like,
maybe they are in that sense. The only difference is that fucking Valve is not George Broussard.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
But maybe Gabe Newell is, and this is the first opportunity he's had to show that side of himself.
I've seen all these fucking, like, articles or maybe just tweets. I don't know. People on the internet have been saying, like, guys, if you go back and, like, look at Half-Life 2, it's not, like, amazing.
It's amazing. Shut up.
It's not like it doesn't hold up that well.
It does hold up that well. Shut up.
That's because it was never, like, a life-changing experience. It's just, like, a really good first-person shooter with, like, a really good story and, like, a cool world, and it looked pretty. Like, it's not difficult. Like, maybe it would be difficult
It's not difficult for Valve.
Yeah, you're right.
With their unlimited resources and history of putting out really good games.
Exactly. That's what I'm not trying to say that making Half-Life is easy, but it's not like as if
they've never made a Half-Life game.
Yeah, it's not as if there was some quality that Half-Life 2 had that was just like this intangible. It's just a pretty good game. I don't know. What are all these people saying Half-Life 2 doesn't hold up? That game's great.
That game's great. Yeah.
I played that recently.
I think those are crazy people.
Yeah. I guess my point is that Half-Life was never really the greatest game ever, so it's not like Half-Life 3 has to be the greatest game. It just needs to be a Half-Life game.
That's what my fear is that people are overselling Half-Life 2 and overhyping themselves for Half-Life 3, a game that has not officially been announced yet at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, Like, and it's been so long.
It's been so long.
And all that can happen is people either get more hyped or more soured on it.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we're pretty much at the end of this episode of the podcast. I would just like to say quickly, because I forgot to mention it before, I've been playing Hitman Go on the iPad, and it's a fun game, and I like it.
That's cool. What is it? What is that, free to play?
No, it's $5.
It's $5. Do you have to, what is it, like pay real money to be silent?
No, it's actually all of the bullets need to be paid for individually, and your silencers break after every 5th shot, and you have to pay $1 to fix your silencer.
Oh man!
No, do you not know about Hitman Go?
Made that. I know that it exists. I don't really know about it.
It's a turn-based puzzle game. So it's a real abstraction of the Hitman concept, and it has this board game motif. So all of the characters in the game are just static board game pieces that slide around on the board.
That sounds fun.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
It's not
well, Kyle,
it's
you know
not
what I say is
tremendously
that
like Hitman, but it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. You know what I say, Kyle, which is that life is just an endless series of instant turns.
Do you say that a lot?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
I've never.
I didn't feel like you would say that.
What is this new thing where people keep taking the things I say seriously?
I think that always happened.
Has it always happened? Maybe it feels like it's happening more.
Have you made any more Amazon fake reviews?
No, but if you want, in the break between now and doing the Patreon thing, I can do a couple.
I really feel like...
those are really good? You think that they're really good?
I really feel like your Amazon, or your lack of Amazon reviews is very similar to Valve's lack of Half-Life 3. Which is like, what is Keith doing over there if he's not writing Amazon reviews? Because he's sure as hell not contributing to Run Button in any appreciable way. So,
do you know what the hardest thing is finding...
the products.
The product. Because it's like, I can't... If I do it for something that's already stupid, like inherently stupid...
You do that a lot.
I don't like to, though. Like, all the best ones, I think, are for, like, cereal and kids' toys.
Yeah.
I think one of the only ones that's for something inherently stupid is like 900 rolls of dog shit bags and Paula Deen's butt rub.
What about that? What about that fucking insane wallet that had 15 different credit card slots?
Yeah, that one too. But I like the ones better that are just regular products, because like the ones that are already stupid, I don't know. It's a whole thing.
I mean, listen. Much like Half-Life 3. And the making of it. If I could do it myself, I would. But I have to wait for, this other person to give it to me. And they're not giving it to me.
Yeah. No, I'll do more. I'll have more for Are we going to do a stream today?
Yeah, we better be doing a stream, because this TV behind me has been showing the fucking start menu for Bionicle for the Game Boy Advance. For an hour and a half.
You just doubled the length of our podcast trying to get
I couldn't remember what it was called when it's like the menu that you get when you turn on the game.
Start menu?
Yeah.
Boot screen?
And maybe we could play a little Lightning Force if you're into that. I mean, you can't, but I could play it.
Yeah, you could play it. I could watch. I don't care about that game.
You don't care about it? I thought we had fun with that game.
I really, really like the music, and I like to play it, but I don't watch it. We've already done that. We've done it.
We have done it, but it's been a long time.
Yeah. Was there anything else we were talking about?
Nah.
All right.
Thanks for listening to our thing.
Wait. Kyle.
What?
We've got to say like the things and the places.
Oh.
We never do this. We got to start doing this more.
Okay.
Yeah. You can go first as the host.
My street address is... My dog keeps banging her water bowl for water.
Oh, what a thirsty idiot.
She has a ceramic water bowl, and she does this thing where she takes her paw and sort of like smacks the edge of it to make it kind of like flip up and make a banging sound on the tile to let us know that she would like water.
What a stupid jerk.
Which is good, because if she didn't do that, let's be honest, she would die of dehydration.
Yeah. My cat does this thing where if he doesn't have any water, he'll meow at whatever time it is, Like, he has no courtesy at all. And oftentimes what'll happen is that he'll have, like, you know, someone will give him water in the afternoon, and he'll drink it all by night, so he'll meow at 4 o'clock in the morning like a fucking asshole. And I'll be like, why are you such an asshole? Oh, you have no food or water. And you're a cat, so you don't understand feeding times.
My cats and dogs are not, like, big enough assholes to do that. Like, they, you know, they understand sleeping time.
It's not the cat's fault, because that's what my mom gets up at, like, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh, this is basically wake up time. But for me, no, I've just gone to bed. You jerk. You monster.
Yeah. I have to get up at like 5:30 every Wednesday to go to work really, really far away. And I used to bring my dog Bethany with me and leave her at my parents' house and grandparents so that they could watch her for the day so that she wouldn't be all alone. But apparently my grandparents didn't want to watch the dog anymore, so now I don't take her. But and maybe this is just in my imagination, and this is how she would react anytime she sees me at first in the morning, but it always really seems like every time I get up at 5:30, she gets really excited and thinks that we're going somewhere, and then I leave her at home.
Oh, man. Dogs have weird expectations.
Sorry, Bethany.
Yeah. You'd think that she'd like, oh, we don't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's been months.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been.
Yeah. So, all right, are we going to do the Patreon thing, or are we going to do a stream next? Oh, by the way, your dumb joke meant that we never even ended up plugging our stuff. So you can follow me on Twitter at something dumb, and you probably should because it's awesome. And if you don't listen to if you somehow are listening to this and you don't know who we are or what we do, you can go to runbutton.net. It'll bring you to our YouTube page where you can watch the things that we do.
Dummy.
You dummy. How did you even find this?
My Twitter handle is the @ symbol followed by the number 1 and the number 9 followed by the words letters and long. Mm-hmm. And when you put it all together, it sounds like @19 letters long.
Yep.
And you
maybe next time I should say your Twitter for you because
you can like also go to youtube.com/runbutton. Our podcasts are at runbuttonpodcast.com. And also, if you would like to give us a generous monthly donation in return for all kinds of sweet, exclusive content, reward, bonus gets, you can go to patreon.com/runbutton. That's patreon.com/runbutton. I would like to say this, though, real quick. We just started our patron exclusive Let's Play Eternal Darkness.
Yeah, episode 2 of that is out.
You can anybody can get the first episode on our YouTube channel, but
first episode free.
Only non-dirt trash patrons can get the rest of the episodes.
Wait, no, hold on. I think that you meant to say only dirt trash and non-patrons. I think that you just accidentally called the patrons dirt trash.
No. I'm saying non-dirt trash patrons. Like, patrons... Like, the patrons are not dirt trash, so they're non-dirt trash patrons.
Okay. I think I prefer dirt trash non-patrons.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a semantic issue.
My point is, people that aren't patrons are dirt trash.
Yeah. We're gonna have to come up with
are not that.
We're gonna have to come up with new milestones too, because we're out of those.
Yeah.
So what I was gonna say was that if you're one of the very super awesome people that donated above $15, but you have not told us the game you would like us to do a one-off of, a one-off run-off of, then you should email that to runbuttonpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're one of the people that donated $24 or above and have not submitted your T-shirt idea, you got to get on that too.
Yeah.
Because we're basically done with 2.5 of the designs at this point.
Don't submit a design, and then we don't have to make one. That's just easier for us.
Yeah,
but I mean that's on you.
But don't stop paying us.
That's on you. I mean, yeah, don't do that either.
Yeah, like we super need it.
But shit, what the fuck was I gonna say?
I don't know.
God damn it.
We're over 100, by the way. We're over 100 patrons.
Over 100.
109 patrons at 1,885.
Nobody cares.
10
No
hundreds
one cares.
and 8.5 tens.
God, what was I gonna say? Ah, man. Bummer. Oh, I got it, you guys. Also, you should email the runbuttonpodcast@gmail.com address with just, like, questions and stuff, like, and then we can read them and answer them on a podcast if you would like to ask.
Yeah,
ask or answer.
If you're an OG Run Button listener or a member of the Patreon, you would know about Complex Rockets and our email segment, which consisted of no one emailing us ever. And because of that, we never really had one on Run Button, even though now we actually have listeners. We just never did it again. So we should probably do that.
You should email us things, and we can read those emails, answer questions.
Literally anything.
Yeah. I mean, they're not... I can't...
Like, if you're like, I'd email this, but it's not super related to anything, just email it.
Again, I've mentioned this before, but at Run Button we have a really revolutionary content policy when it comes to listener submission, rather, is that you can send us anything, and we will do the legwork of deciding if it's good enough for us to actually read or act upon. Mm-hmm. So there's,
it's like literally it's no hassle on
you don't have to worry about sending us an idea.
You don't have to hire any sort of quality vetting process. Yeah, like nothing like that. User submission.
You don't have to worry that like maybe you're gonna send an email to us and it's gonna be like really bad, and then we have to read it. Like if it's bad, we're just not gonna read it. So don't even worry about it.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even because it's bad. It's just because like we didn't get to it this week, or we got another similar question, or it's bad and you asked a bad question and you should feel bad. Any one of those things could be the reason why.
Yeah. The one thing I would say is maybe hold off on is I feel like most of the emails we get are just people that are like, here's a bunch of games I would like a Let's Play of. And I mean, we appreciate that, but we kind of get a bunch of those. It's not that constructive. Mm-hmm. If you would like it read on a podcast, we're probably not going to read people that just ask for Let's Plays.
Yeah.
That's all.
Was there anything else?
I think that's it for this latest numbered episode of the Run Button Podcast.
Is 17?
That's not that many, for sure. Definitely not
14?
that many. No, I don't know. We just started numbering them again, so I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay, wait. 16. Oh, we were so close.
Really? That's more than I thought.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, there's been a lot. Just a lot of them aren't numbered.
Okay.
Because,
All right, we're good.
We're good.
All right, bye.
Bye.